Welcome to this video on the voting classifier model. You know that the random forest classifier model is an ensemble model which uses multiple ML models. But we are only using one type of ML model here, which is the decision tree. Can we use different types of ML models together? Yes. You can use the voting classifier model to ensemble different types of ML models. Instead of using just the decision trees, you can use XGBoost, logistic regression, and SVM models, which will be trained on the trained data. Once the models are trained, you will pass the test data to the models. The models will predict the output, and the voting classifier will aggregate the outputs. Here, you can see that the XGBoost model predicted 1, whereas logistic regression and SVM models predicted 0. The voting classifier will choose the class which was predicted a majority number of times. This means that the voting classifier model will predict 0. This is called hard voting, where you only consider the number of times a particular class is predicted. Is there another method of voting which is used by the voting classifier model? Yes. It is called soft voting. Let's see this in detail. In soft voting, the voting classifier model checks the probability of occurrence of all possible classes. For example, the voting classifier receives the probability of occurrences of all three models, for class 0, as shown on screen. You can see that the XGBoost model predicted the probability of occurrence of 0 as 0.2, or 20%. The voting classifier will take the average of these values, which is 0.47 in this case. The voting classifier will then receive the probability of occurrences of all three models, for class 1, as shown on screen. The voting classifier will now take the average of these values as well, which is 0.53. You can see that the average for class 1 is higher. Thus, the voting classifier will give the final output as 1. Is there a difference between the performance of your strategy using either of the two voting methods? You can see that the cumulative returns from using the soft voting classifier are better than the hard voting classifier model. What is the advantage of using different ML models? There might be certain ML models which perform well on trending markets, while other models work on range-bound markets. You can combine these models in a voting classifier model so that the model works in all types of markets.